Hello and welcome to the Jon Gaunt podcast. Thank you for joining me. May I just say happy Easter? I don't know why I'm saying it because we're not really Christian anymore, are we, as a nation? King Charles hasn't really said anything about it. He said everything about every other religion. The same with Keir Starmer. So is Christianity, is it over? And what's taken over? Is it secularism? Because there's been a lot of criticism this week about the fact that the government hasn't really recognised Shrove Tuesday, Easter, etc., etc. Don't forget, we were brought up, most of us, as Christians. I certainly was. And I was always told that Easter was the most important occasion, the most important date in the calendar, not Christmas, Easter, when Jesus Christ obviously was crucified and resurrected. But do we really care? Do we need religion anymore of any kind? Is there too much religion in the country? Are there particular religions that are taking over? What's your opinion? And why do we get so worked up? I mean, some TV stations and radio stations have been having whole debates about this. Why hasn't Keir Starmer mentioned Easter, etc., etc.? And I bet if I asked those individual presenters, probably the same as me, when did you last go to church? They'd probably have to scratch their head. It'd probably be a christening, or a wedding, or maybe a funeral. I've been to too many of those recently, let me tell you. But are you still religious? I was brought up in the Church of England. I went to Sunday school, but I wouldn't describe myself as a Christian now. Do you identify as a Christian? Or maybe you identify as one of the other major religions now in our country. Let's have your opinion on this, please. But I think religion's dead, and I'm a bit of a hypocrite, but I think on the balance of it, I'm quite happy that Christianity doesn't dominate every aspect of our society anymore. Why do I say that? Well, I explain it in the show as we progress. But I think this is an important debate. It isn't about religion. It's about culture, society, community, about what we are, what we've lost maybe by getting rid of Christianity. Maybe we're jealous of other religions. I mean, remember the outcry when King Charles had a Muslim Eid or Ramadan celebration where they all ate dates at Windsor Castle. People were outraged. Why? Is that just out and out anti-Muslim sentiment? Is it just racism? Or is it, hold on a minute, you're meant to be the defender of our faith? But of course, he redefined that. The king, he's called himself the defender of all faiths, which I don't think he can be, but that's what he thinks he is. What and where is religion? I'll tell you one thing where I want religion completely out of public life, and that's in the House of Lords. I don't see why bishops should be in there. And also, going on from there, though, I do worry that by losing the act of worship, you know, the old school assemblies where we all had to sing those hymns tunelessly, did we lose something? Have we lost something by no longer having Sunday schools? Whether you were Catholic or you were a proddy like me, you went to Sunday school. It gave you a spine, didn't it? Have we thrown all that out? And now are we basically praying at the altar of materialism? This is the Jon Gaunt Show. As you know, it's on YouTube. Thank you for all the people who's joined my YouTube over the last couple of days. Also on Spotify and all the audio platforms. You can always listen to this show again later. And, of course, Facebook and Twitter. Wherever you are, please press the like button or the notify bell so that you know you'll be told when the next one is. I must admit, I wasn't sure if I was going to do one today. And then I was scratching around for a good idea. Then it just came to me like a bolt of lightning in the Blues Brothers. That's a brilliant film, isn't it? And I had the inspiration. It's got to be about Easter. And it's got to be about some of this faux outrage. Is it faux outrage? I don't know. So what has happened to our country? So here's your first question. Is the UK still a Christian nation in your opinion? Let me know in the comments. Has it declined? Well, of course it has. What's replaced it? What do you make of rising secularism? And do you actually believe that's happened? And what do you make of the political promotion of other faiths? Let's be honest, we're talking about the Muslim faith mostly. Does that get on your nerves? And if it does, why does it? It irritates me, but I don't know why. And I'm being absolutely honest with you. And of course, then we've had all the sexual abuse scandals, including that useless archbishop who's only just disappeared, who basically covered up for a serial abuser and still doesn't think that he's in the wrong. He's forgiven this guy who basically sodomized over 100 young lads. That's what gets me about Christianity, the absolute two-faced nature of it. But has Christianity been pushed out of public life? There's your final question. Does it matter? I'd like your opinion on that, please, this afternoon. Now then, I've just got some quick notes for you. In 2021, the last time people were asked, I think it was the census, 27.5 million people in England and Wales identified as Christian. Yeah, you'd put Christian on I always put Christian on the census form or whatever, but I haven't been to church in years, not the normal Sunday church. That was 46.2% of the population. 33 that was a decrease from 59.3%, which was 33.3 million in 2011. So the last time we got asked in 2021, 4 or 5 years ago, it was still the most common religion. However, it's no longer the majority religion in England or Wales. Let me give you the other religions just so you know what they are, because I found this interesting. No religion, it's a bit like none of the above when it comes to political polls. No religion came second at 37.2 million people thinking that. No, I'm not religious at all. Only just behind Christianity. Muslims, 6.5 million, which is 6.49%. Hindus, 1.7. The Sikhs, 0.9. The Buddhists, 0.5. The Jewish, 0.5. I thought the Jews would be higher than that, I must admit. Other religions, 0.6. So the bottom line is Christianity is still the majority religion, but it isn't the religion that ties us all together. Now, has that somehow damaged society? Maybe when you look at terrorism, maybe when you look at law and order, when you talk about crime, maybe now when you're talking about the asylum seekers who are trying to get into the country. I mean, that's just got even worse today, hasn't it? Have you seen what's happening today? But we've got this situation where we haven't got any sort of common values, it feels to me. That's what it feels to me. So rising secularism, political promotion of other faiths. It has got right on my TITSs, the way Keir Starmer's made all his videos. He's not made one for Easter. Do you know that? He's made them, was it Diwali? It was Eid for the Muslims. He's also just done one for the Sikhs. I can't remember what that one is. It's one where they have all the flowers. And it's obviously woke political culture. Talking of which, good decision. How many millions have they wasted finding out a woman is a woman and a man in a frock with a COCK is not a woman? What a waste of money. But hopefully now woke has been put to sleep permanently. You may want to comment on that. I'll take those as well. Is it the scandals? Is it the sex abuse? Is that why Christianity's been pushed out of the way? But then again, there's been massive sex abuse allegations within the Muslim faith, and not just the Northern girls, but also with some of the imams on Muslim boys. I don't know whether it's been in the Hindu faith. I haven't seen any stories of that. In the Jewish faith, it has. It also has, of course, in Scouts and in public organizations. But have we lost something by no longer being a Christian nation? Or does that not matter? Let's take some views. Nigel Gordon says religion starts at home. And he says, look, respect, look after others, not kill them. That ain't a religion, says Nigel. Well, Nigel, I think you're right. And I think the other thing with major religions, when you look at the commandments of most of the religions or the basic central philosophy, it's always the same. Don't sleep with somebody else's man or woman. Be nice, be generous, be kind, etc., etc. Do not steal. That's the same in all the religions. So why does religion cause so much trouble and violence and wars? And it always has. See, a lot of people say to me, I can't be religious, Gaunty. It just causes wars. I'm not interested. And I can understand that. But I want to go a bit deeper. I want to ask you, do you think that because we no longer have school assemblies, with a religious aspect. We no longer go to Sunday school. That somehow we've lost a spine that kind of united, even if it was hypocritical. Have we lost something, or am I going soft? I'd like your views on that, please, today. I mean, obviously, our values are changing. Have our values moved away from Christianity? The idea of sharing, community, etc. Because let's face it, when you look at the Sikh religion or the Hindu religion, and indeed the Buddhists, and indeed the Muslims, central to that is always making sure there's food for the stranger who might come in. I don't see that so much amongst us Christians. Or am I just looking in the wrong place? But also, talk to me about the king. Talk to me about, I was going to say Gordon Brown then. What's his name, that idiot who's in charge at the moment? Keir Starmer. Do you think they're promoting other religions over and above ours to somehow rub our nose in diversity? And have the scandals put you off? And what role are the monarchy and indeed top politicians playing in all this? So Christianity is on the decline in the UK. I was just telling Lisa what I'm going to talk about. She sarcastically turned around and said, "Oh, happy Easter." Well, yes, but it's kind of apt, isn't it? Because this is the day when we should be talking about these things. What's your opinion? Let's see if we get any more comments we can go to. There we are. Steve, evening, John. Religion is dead in the UK. Too many scandals about sex abuse. That's one of the things, the points I was making. How do they get away with it? Well, they get away with it because most religions, there's secrets, aren't there? And the priest or the vicar is held in too high regard. It makes me sick, that a man of the cloth can abuse his position. It's the same with teachers, and it's the same with youth leaders. These people, I don't know whether they should be shot, but they certainly have abused their position. And I wouldn't go soft on any of them. And I wouldn't go soft on anyone who defends them either or turns a blind eye. I'm really tough, as you know, on the Northern girls. You know why I'm calling them that. And I think anybody who's turned a blind eye to that should be in a court of law. Do you agree? Denise Deacon, I'm not religious, but I do celebrate Christian holidays, John. I see it as a tradition of our country rather than anything else. Yeah, I can see that. It's obvious the way things are going that Islam will soon be the most practiced religion in this country. And that scares me, she says. Why does it scare you? If it's not your religion and you don't go, what's the problem? Is it the link with Islamists, extremists, with terror? Is that what it is, Denise? Is it ignorance? I'm not having a go, by the way. I've shared some of your fears. Maybe you want to add another comment to that, or maybe somebody else does. It's not going to be the majority religion, though, because as I just told you, there's simply not enough Muslims in the country for that to happen. They're 6.5. What I can see happening is that they still practice their religion. It seems across their community, and Sikhs, and certainly Hindus. I've got some experience of Hindus within my family at one point, that certainly they are still practicing more as the majority of their community. We've lost that, haven't we? And I know what you mean about the Christian festivals. Love celebrating Christmas and even Easter, even though they now sell hot cross buns right back from Boxing Day. It's still part of the year, isn't it? It's part of our tradition, our culture. You're right, Denise. You're absolutely right. And I still like going to midnight mass, although I haven't been for years, or the midnight service on Christmas Eve. But we've lost something, haven't we? We definitely have. We definitely have. We've thrown the baby out with the bathwater. But you're right. The sex abuse is so difficult to get over. This is what Steve was saying. Chopper, MK50. It would appear the cult of woke has taken over as a religion for some. That's not a bad point. With their pronouns, plant-based burgers and skinny lattes. They are a far bigger danger than any religious faith. Well, it is a religion for the woke. I mean, did you see those men in frocks yesterday objecting to the fact that the women won? I'm so glad the judges came down unanimously and said sex is biology, right? You cannot change your sex. Now, listen, When I was growing up, I've told you this before, when I was a punk rocker in Coventry and we used to go to the Locarno, there was a transvestite there, or a transvestite. It was a bloke in a frock, right? And I think he still had the COCK. No one cared. He had hands the size of shovels. Don't forget, this was all before homosexuality was sort of de rigueur almost. No one cared. Get on with it if that's what you want to. And that's kind of my view now. If you're transsexual or trans, whatever you want to call yourself, get on with it. But don't, pardon the pun, force it down our throats, which is what they were doing. And the attacks on J.K. Rowling and people like that were just outrageous. And the mixed hospital wards. I was laughing my duck off today. The fact that all of that's going to change. And all these diversity officers are going to have to rewrite their manuals, and the coppers, aren't they? And all the rest of it, because it's a very small minority. It's a minority of a minority, if you follow what I'm saying. A minority are people who believe they're trapped in the wrong body. I feel for them, and get on with your life. Hope you get the help you need. But it was a minority of that minority who believe that they could self-identify as a fridge. It's obviously ridiculous. And when we come back to look at this in years in the future, we'll say that. And it was the epitome of woke and selfish. Maybe that's the epitome of selfishness. You can be anything you want. Well, unfortunately, you can't. Yeah, I'd have liked to play football for Coventry City, but I was a fat little git. It wasn't going to happen. Have you seen me for sale sign behind me on my church? I was quite happy with the graphic today. Don't forget, keep pressing the like button if you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, if you're just enjoying it, do that. Don't forget as well also to donate. You can donate to me from buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt, or during the live broadcast, and I think 3 people did it last night. You can donate anything you want via YouTube, and it all comes in handy. Thank you very much indeed. War's either about money or religion, says Nigel. You're right. Happy Easter, John. He needs to go out and sort out the rubbish in Birmingham. Who? Jesus? I don't even think Jesus could clean the streets at the moment. Don't be offended by me saying that. I suppose you mean Keir Starmer. You're right. And also, where is Keir Starmer? Remember, Keir Starmer couldn't answer the question about whether a man can be a woman. He couldn't answer it. He stumbled over it with Nick Ferrari. Lammy, he was asked the question about the cervix. He reckoned blokes could have one. Mind you, he's the guy who eats 7 grand's worth of biscuits in one meeting. Well, not on his own, obviously. So he's a thick-o, absolute thick-o. But they've all bound themselves up in this nonsense, this woke nonsense. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for listening to minorities and making sure everyone's got an equal chance in society. But that's the point. Equal. We're equal but different. What's actually happened, and this is why Stonewall's had so much trouble, the gay charity, because when that was set up, it was set up to fight for equal rights for homosexuals and indeed for lesbians. But it transmuted into this trans thing. And when you speak to, real feminists like Julie Bindel, who's a lesbian, I know her really well. I've done loads of telly with her. She says, listen, the trans movement isn't a woman's movement. It's a radical men's movement. They want to be where we are. And she hated it. Absolutely hated it. And she also thought there were so many young kids like her. She said, when I was young, I wanted to play with boys, and I suppose I'd be called a tomboy. Nowadays, they'd be chopping off my breasts and saying I need a sex change. And they'll wipe. And she actually said this to me. She said, it's a way of wiping out the whole idea of lesbianism and feminism. And I agree with her. I do agree. Sorry, we've gone off on one here, but you may want to comment on that as well. We don't have to stick to just one agenda. I love my religion. I also abide by my religion. My religion. Amen, says Enid. Thank you very much indeed for that. I can't see what that is. Somebody's put and there's a picture. Liz Jones, I mean. I don't know what you mean by that, Liz. Sorry. Ignoring what is really happening in this country. What are you on about? Just explain it. Don't use little, what do you call those things? Graphics, emojis, because I can't see them. I don't have a religious bone in my body, but I do like to think I behave in a Christian manner, says Jackie Ward. Jackie, I think that will probably sum up most of my audience, most of my listeners and my watchers. I think we're all like that, aren't we? We still want to believe in the central tenets of the Bible, which, as I say, is don't sleep with your mate's wife or husband. Don't cover what they've got. Don't nick things. Don't, blah, 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 blah. Be charitable, be kind. We'd all like to live like that, wouldn't we? But I think that's the same of any religion. But I don't know. If I had to make, if you put a gun to my head, I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice between having religion in society and not. More and more, I'm coming down on I wouldn't have it. I just think it causes so much grief and it gives so much privilege and therefore advantage to certain people who are not particularly pleasant, like paedophiles, right, in the church. And I'm talking about all religion. I'm not talking about just the Church of England or the Catholic Church. I'm talking about all of them. And the other thing about that, I often feel that if you're just a normal priest or normal vicar or cleric, preacher, whatever you are, to be tainted with that. Oh, why does he want to take him to Wales? He's a pervert. You know what I mean? That must be just horrendous when these people dedicate their lives often to helping disadvantaged kids. But I was in care, so I know what these people are. You've got to be very careful. The king was the emoji, John. Oh, I got it now. He was going to go to Birmingham, but he pulled out. He did actually, yeah, but he said he was ill. But yeah. The king, you're right. But see, he likes the Muslim faith. I'm not having a go at him for this. And he believes in the culture and the history of it, and what the Muslim faith was at one point. The Muslim faith ran the world, didn't they? In terms of art and culture and literature at one point. We've got to remember this. Maybe we don't get taught enough about it. Denise Deacon, Islam scares me. Oh, gosh, I asked her earlier. She said it scares the hell out of her. So it scares me because I think of it as backwards, especially the fanatics. Mm-hmm. With the burqa and the hijab, it seems to me to be dragging us back into the dark ages. Well, I would ban the hijab. I'd ban it overnight and the burqa. Everyone goes on about this. It's not a religious symbol. It's not. It was introduced by the Saudis. It's not part of the Muslim faith. I remember a time when only if you went to London, it was a bit like Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's. You only ever saw it if you went to London. They weren't anywhere else. It was the same with the burqas. Since 9/11, they're everywhere. And I don't like it. I find it very uncomfortable. But then I look at myself and say, why? Are you being religious, racist or an Islamophobe? No, I'm not an Islamophobe. I'm not. But I don't think women should be treated like second-class citizens. Sorry, shoot me. No, don't. That's not an instruction. But you understand what I'm saying. And then I love it when you got your gays for Palestine. They'll be the first ones being pushed off the top of a tower block if they move there. It's this when they support things like Hamas, they make me sick with their, so right on. I saw the chief constable of the West Midlands. He went to see some Sikh people, right? He had a hat made especially for the occasion, right? I can understand if it's the religion, please put a headscarf on, or please, wear a hat. He'd got a proper little school cap, but with the police symbol on it. What a politically correct jerk. This is the one who retired from the police and then got re-employed. They promised him they'd re-employ him so that he got more pension. Yeah, anyway, that's the story. Where were we, Denise? Also, don't forget Mohammed married a 9-year-old, and in Iran, they've legalized it again. What? They've legalized early marriage, right? That's disgusting if that's the truth. I didn't know that, Denise. You're right, though. Muhammad did marry a 9-year-old, but I'm sure if we looked at other religious leaders, they wouldn't necessarily all come out clean, judging by our standards. That's all I'd say. Somebody's donated a £5. Let me find out who that is. Steve, remember, Jesus loves you, Gaunty. Keep going. Your lives, I think it means the live shows, are inspiring and always the man of the people. God bless you, Gaunty. Thank you, Steve. He's donated a £5. Steve, put a little note up and tell people how they do that. Can you on YouTube? Because I haven't got a clue. All right, let's move on. Where was that one? That's Denise. You're making interesting points. And all I can ever ask you to do is just be honest. Don't tap in a comment, or when we get phones going, say something just because you think it's politically correct or you don't want people to judge you. That's what's wrong with our society. We've got to be more open and talk about these things, argue, fall out sometimes. Anyway, I've heard people say that all the extremists are Muslims and therefore all Muslims are a threat. But consider that all the IRA were Catholics. That's a very good point, Chopper. I always think that when people say, and then I think, I say to them, well, what about your cab driver? What about the bloke who runs our local curry house? Do you think he's a terrorist? Because he's not. It's not, is it? It's just ludicrous. And I agree with you. Although some Irish people have defeated me on that, Irish Catholics. I've said, yeah, John, but what you've got to remember, during the Troubles, it wasn't Troubles, it was a war, but during the Troubles, if you were Irish, you were a second-class citizen in cities like Luton and your hometown of Coventry. I can't argue with that. There was terrible treatment. Remember? No blacks, no Irish, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. Disgusting. But anyway, we've all moved on. Nigel Gordon says they can get married at 9 certain religions. Yeah, that's true. But other religions do that as well. Don't the Mormons, Church of Latter-day Saints? I don't know. I had a teacher at school who was a Mormon. He wasn't in the Osmonds. I mean, they became popular because of the Osmonds. Shut up, John. Shut up. It's worrying I'm on your wavelength, John. And the burqa was hardly seen in Dubai. Only the headscarf. Yeah, well, there's a big difference between the hijab, the headscarf, and the burqa. I just think it's wrong. And when they say, and I've done telly with loads of Muslim women as well and Muslim blokes who say no one forces them to do it. It's their decision. I don't really buy that argument. I really don't. And I don't like anything that oppresses or suppresses people. I mean, that's one of the problems with the religion, where if you were gay, you couldn't really be, it's the same, isn't it, with vicars now. We can have women vicars, but before we couldn't. It's just all bollocks, isn't it? That's all nonsense. But have we lost our religion? Steve says you go to the pound sign at the bottom of the YouTube page, right click on it, then click super chat, then put in the amount and leave a comment. Cheers, everyone. Thank you, Steve. You could become my agent. So if you're watching on YouTube, as long as it's live, you just go to the bottom right, click on it, right, and then click super chat, and then you can donate a few quid if you want on your credit or debit card. Thank you for that. Thank you for everyone who's clicking the like button today as well. It really is appreciated. Let me just have a look what else I want to talk about this. Do you think that we can have true multiculturalism? Do we have it? I don't think we have. I think we have lots of different cultures living within the country. I think that's one of the problems with our immigration rules. I force the idea that, look, you've got to fit in or ship out, right? Like I used to say, Stelios chucks away, right? And have you seen the thing today? They're saying there's some Sudanese illegal immigrants. This is on GB News. They've got a video of them, and they're doing that TikTok thing where you mime to records. But they're like in really posh hotels, and they're basically taking the mickey. We've given them shelter. We've given them warmth. We've given them clothes. We've given them an opportunity. We're even going to give them a fair chance to prove they should be here or not. And then they basically do that to us. I think that's a disgrace. Oh, and have you also noticed there's now some refugee charity on Breakfast Telly saying what I've been saying for weeks. We should get them out of the hotels and put them in tents. But then he goes on to say, then we can save the money to help them more in their own countries. No, mate, we're going to cut all foreign aid. No. We need to look after our pensioners. Our pensioners who are choosing between heat and meat, who had their winter fuel allowance stolen. That's who we've got to appeal to. Sorry to be rude about this. So is the UK, here's my final bit. Let me ask you this. Do you think we've now got to be a point? Have we got to a point now where we're post-Christian? In the next census, which will be in about 4 or 5 years, will it be that the majority of people aren't religious at all? Will that take over the ones who say they're Christian? I don't know whether it's embarrassment, but I always say, yeah, Christian. which is weird because I'm not a Christian. I like to think I live by some of those values, but I was brought up a Christian. Went to St. Nicholas Church, which got concrete cancer, and they've just knocked down in Radford in Coventry. But all my mates, the Doyles and the Kavanaghs, they all went to the Swords. They all went to St. Augustine, which was a Catholic church. But did it give us a unity that actually we all believed in, or pretended we believed in one thing? I don't know. Steve says, I couldn't afford the wage drop to be your agent. You couldn't, mate, because 10% of Nout or Sweet FA is still Nout, isn't it? Thank you, Steve. You're making me feel great. You're making me feel really great. Thank you for boosting my confidence. Then he's put, joke got Gaunty. I agree. Why be in a country you apparently love and do everything to be contrary to that? How do I buy you a coffee? Says Liz Jones. Liz, you can come again. I'll tell you how you can buy me a coffee. That's a dead simple one. I can do it now on the screen. If you're watching on telly now, or on your computer or your phone, there it is. www.buymeacoffee, all one word, .com/Jon Gaunt. No H in John. JONGAUNT. You'll know it's me because my picture flashes up. And then you can donate anything from a £5. A coffee is a £5, or you can specify you want it to be a beer. just a gimmick to get people to join in. A beer or a coffee. You click on it, you pay the money. All done very simple. www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt, and then the money comes to me. That is really kind of you if you'd like to do that. And you can do that when the show's not live as well. And then what happens is on Twitter, they put out a notification on Twitter saying that you've donated. And then I also send a thank you as well. So thanks for that. I'm also trying to thank all the people who have been doing it on YouTube as well. I can't tell you the difference it makes. And it's just a little boost to your confidence that you think, yeah, I'm doing something here that's worthwhile. Because I think this show will really get big. And I believe the alternative media is the way forward. I don't believe people are going to say, yeah, I listen to X radio station all day anymore. That's all over. And I don't think people are going to, well, they don't buy newspapers or all that stuff's gone. They're going to go to the individual that they like, whether it's me or Dan Wootton or James O'Brien. No, I'm stupid, John. They're not going to go there. But you understand what I'm saying, don't you? Seaside of Mark, this country's foundation was built on 1,000 years of Christianity. Its culture, its values, and its traditions won't be missed until it's gone. That's always a good point. You never miss it till it's gone. Our Prime Minister and King are promoting foreign religions. Well, they are. Non-native religions. I can't argue with that. Some people would pick you up and say that's a bit racist. I'm not going to say that at all, Seaside. I understand where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from. And it does stick in my gullet a little bit when they say, you know, Happy Diwali and all the rest of it, mainly because it's political correctness. I mean, he's just done one, hasn't he, Starmer? He did one about the roads yesterday. We've got the roads moving. The trains are on time. You're not going to be delayed. It's going to be wonderful. What's the headline this morning? Bank holiday mayhem. Chaos on the roads. Train drivers on strike. The guy is just 150,000% BS, Starmer, isn't he? And where is he when you need him? When you need him to give some reassurance? Where is he today? I bet you in the next day or two it'll come out that he's gone abroad. I bet you he's on holiday. I bet you. Because they've gone quiet on it. It's like the other one. Where's Wally? You know, Miliband. He's gone a bit quiet, hasn't he? After ruining our economy with all his green madcap ideas. Liz Jones says, thanks, John. Well, thank you, Liz, for donating and supporting me. It really is appreciated. Gaunty, have a great weekend. See you next week. Good luck to Coventry City. Hopefully we'll see them in the Premiership with Leeds. He doesn't give up, does he? He's a Leeds fan. Next season. Yeah, well, hopefully. I don't think so. I don't think Coventry will get there. I think we'll give it a good go. We'll see how we get on against the Baggies and the other teams this weekend. We're playing tomorrow, aren't we? Good Friday, 3:00. I'm not going. I can't afford it. But anyway, I thought I'd mention it. Right, that's me done. Or religion. I like the Johnny Rotten song. Religion, your religion, where you pray to a man called God in reverse is dog or something like that. And maybe religion. It's called Religion, the song. It's a long time since I've listened to it. Do the shows next week start on Tuesday, John? I don't know, because it's Bank Holiday Monday. Maybe. But if I get bored over the weekend, I'm not going to do one Sunday because I'm at a family do all day. I might do one tomorrow. I've got something in the back of my head I really want to get off my chest. But I might do it as a closed one where I just do it and put it up and then you can comment later. But yeah, I'll probably do one Monday. Not sure. Good evening, John. Thank you very much, says Liz Jones. Thank you. And thank you to every single person who's supporting me. I don't mean by donations. That's great. Obviously, that's a bonus. But anyone who's talking about me, anybody who's retweeting it, anybody who's saying, oh, Gaunty's back, anything like that, it is fabulous. I'm also on TikTok now. I'm on all these. I don't understand most of them, but I just do it and hope for the best. And it seems to be building, which is good news. But thanks to you. And of course, the donations are important. So if you want to go to www.buymeacoffee.com, that'll be great, /Jon Gaunt, or do it via this one as well. Enjoy your weekend. Have some family time. But have a think about what I've been talking about religion, because it's still causing trouble even if you're not religious. People have been getting a bit worked up about it this week. And keep pressing the like buttons. I'll see you next week. Until then, if you've got... I have got a bit of advice. Don't buy an Easter egg. Won't do you any good. They're always a rip-off. You pay a lot more for them than normal chocolate. But instead of buying any chocolate, buy me a coffee. I'll see you later. All the best. Bye.